Hello students, this is Asma Babwani and today we will be discussing Social Science of Grade 7 Chapter 8 Formation of Regional Culture. This is Geography chapter. Let's head towards this chapter. We get information about various communities from their language. Gujarati speaking people belong to Gujarat and Marathi speaking people belong to Maharashtra. Along with language, different regions have their own customs, cuisine, dress, poetry, dance, music, and painting. In our country, we also find local cultures of different areas, which we call indigenous culture. There has been a cultural exchange among these cultures for centuries, although some of the special traditions of some areas are still intact. Students, as we read the name of the chapter as regional culture, that means in this chapter we are going to study about the different regions, about their customs, their cuisine. Cuisine means their food, then their dress, their way of dressing, their poetry, the kind of poetry, then the dance, music, and painting about those different areas and their culture. And in our country we also find local cultures of different areas. That means they are called indigenous culture. Indigenous means which are originating naturally in a particular place. कोई भी पर्टिकुलर प्लेस पे वो कल्चर, वो लैंग्वेज या उनके जो कस्टम्स है उस पर्टिकुलर प्लेस तक ही लिमिटेड है, सीमित है, वो आज भी वहाँ पे फॉलो किए जाते हैं. वो कल्चर्स आज भी उतने अलग अलग एरियाज़ में फॉलो किए जाते हैं. And there has been cultural exchange among these cultures for centuries. Okay, then some of the traditions are still intact. Means कुछ traditions ऐसे हैं जो आज भी उन पर्टिकुलर जगह पे, उन पर्टिकुलर स्टेट्स पे पूरी तरह से कंप्लीट है, जिनको फॉलो किया जाता है और ओरिजिनल फॉर्म में फॉलो किया जाता है. डेवलपमेंट ऑफ लोकल लैंग्वेजेस इन इंडिया. Malayalam. The Chera kingdom of Mahodayapuram, which was established in the 9th century, was a part of present-day Kerala. This culture is known as Malayalam culture as it combines Kerala culture with its language Malayalam. Malayalam is the main language spoken in Kerala. Sanskrit has a lot of influence on it. In the 14th century, the book Lilatilakam on grammar and poetry was written in Mani Pravalam style. Students, in 9th century, the Chera kingdom of Mahodayapuram, which it was a part of the present-day Kerala, okay, and that culture was known as Malayalam culture because it was a combination of Kerala culture with the language Malayalam. They were speaking Malayalam language, and their culture which they follow was Kerala culture. Then Malayalam is the main language of Kerala. And Sanskrit has lot of influence on this language, Malayalam language. Then a grammar book was written in 14th century which was called Lilatilakam, and poetries were written which was written in Mani Pravalam style. Bengali. The Bengali language is believed to have originated from Sanskrit. Till 15th century, sub-language and dialects combined together and took form of the common literary language, which became the colloquial language of West Bengal. Tribal languages, Persian language, and the influence of European languages on Bengali language is seen from the beginning of British rule in India. Early Bengali literature can be divided into two parts, Sanskrit influenced and independent. The first part includes translation of Sanskrit epics, and second part includes Nath literature. Students, Bengali language is believed that it has been originated from Sanskrit language. And till 15th century, the sublanguage and the dialects mean particular form of languages which are peculiar to specific region or social group. And it was combined together and a common literary language started which was called Bengali. And it was the colloquial language of West Bengal. Colloquial means it is called ordinary or familiar conversation in a particular language. Then early Bengali literature is divided into two parts. One is Sanskrit influenced and second is independent. Sanskrit influence has the translations of Sanskrit epics, and independent part is the second part which is having Nath literature. Gujarati. India is a nation associated with many languages and dialects. In ancient times, languages like Sanskrit, Prakrit, Tamil were popular in India. Over a period of time, many of the regional languages developed. The establishment of regional states gave impetus to the development of regional languages, and many languages were evolved from Sanskrit as well as Tamil in South India. The development of regional languages accelerated from the 8th century, and Khadi Boli, Awadhi, Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi, Malayalam, Telugu, and Kannada language evolved. In the 10th and 11th centuries, Gujarati language evolved from various languages forms derived from Sanskrit. Students, initially our nation India, it was associated with many languages and dialects, and especially in ancient times Sanskrit, Prakrit, Tamil, this kind of languages were very popular. But as the time passed, many regional languages developed, many regional languages established, and the establishment of states, when India was divided into different states, it gave impetus to the development of regional languages. Okay, impetus means force or energy. It gave courage to the development of regional languages, and due to this many languages were evolved from Sanskrit and Tamil language in South India. Then the development of regional languages accelerated means began to move more quickly from 8th century. From 8th century, the regional languages started developing very fast, and many more languages evolved, which included Khadi Boli. Khadi Boli is Asian form of Hindi language, okay? Then Awadhi, Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi, Malayalam, Telugu, and Kannada languages evolved. Then in 10th and 11th century, Gujarati language evolved from various languages forms which were derived from Sanskrit language. Upbransh is the mother of Gujarati language. Upbransh means non-grammatical language. Acharya Hemchandra started the Upbransh language. Gujarati language developed after Sanskrit, Prakrit, Upbransh language. Students, Gujarati language started after the development of Sanskrit language, Prakrit language, and Upbransh language, and a new literary era of Gujarati language began from the time of Narsih Mehta. Narsih Mehta, Mirabai, and Bhalan came up as the facilitators of this new era. All three of them developed the Gujarati literature with the development of devotional, that is Bhakti literature. Students, new literary era was developed from the time of Narsih Mehta. Narsih Mehta started writing his notes, his poetries, his verses in Gujarati language. Then Mirabai and Bhalan, they also facilitated Gujarati language, and all of three developed Gujarati language with Gujarati literature, and especially in Bhakti literature. They developed Bhakti literature, devotional literature, which are devoted to the gods. Narsih Mehta composed works like Shamal Das no Viva, Kuwarbai nu Mameru, Hundi, Sudama Charitra, Dana Leela, etc. Mirabai has also composed many verses in devotion of Lord Krishna as a main theme. Balan was the first to use term Gurjar Bhakha for the Gujarati language in his works. He was a Modh Brahman of Patan and is known as father of Akhyana. His famous work includes Dhruvakyana, Mrugyakyana, Shiv Bilidi dialogue, etc. Students, Narsih Mehta wrote many works. His works included Shamal Das no Viva. Then he also wrote Kuwarbai nu Mameru. His work included Hundi, Sudama Charitra, which is based on life of Sudama, the friend of Lord Krishna, Dan Leela, etc. Then Mirabai also composed many verses. She was devotee of Lord Krishna, so she wrote many verses in devotion of Lord Krishna. Then Balan, he used the term Gurjar Bhakha, that is Jati Bhasha. This is a kind of language used for Gujarati language in his works. Then he was Modh Brahman. Balan was Modh Brahman of Patan. Modh means he was very dignified, very honorable, very respectable Brahman of Patan in Gujarat. And he is also known as father of Akhyana. Akhyana means that the person who narrates story, okay, the stories which are narrated by storyteller for religious instructions to audience, and it is accompanied by singing and acting. So he was called father of Akhyana. and his famous works include Dhruv Vakhyana, Mrugyakyana, Shiv Bhilidi Dialogue, and etc., and many more. Students, we studied languages of India. Now we will study festivals of India. First is Jagannath Rath Yatra. Many religious sects are connected with Jagannath Rath Yatra. Among them, the Jagannath sect in Puri, Odisha is well known. Jagannath means Lord of the world, Nath of the world, which is synonymous with the word Vishnu. In 12th century, King Anantvarman of Gang dynasty decided to build the Jagannath temple at Puri. In 1230 AD, King Anang Bhim III dedicated his kingdom to Jagannath and declared himself as his representative. The Mughal, Marathas, and the East India Company, who conquered Odisha, tried to establish their dominance over the temple. They believed that by gaining the control over the temple, the local people or community would also accept their rule. A special Rath Yatra is organized every year in Puri, in which Jagannath Ji, the incarnation of Vishnu, sits in a chariot and travels in Puri. Many people from all over the world come to participate in this festival. Students, King Jagannath is the reincarnation of Lord Vishnu, and Jagannath means the Lord of the world, the Nath of the world. And in 12th century, King Anantvarman, who belonged to Gang dynasty, he decided to build the temple of Jagannath Lord in Puri, which is called Jagannath Temple. Then in 1230 AD, King Anang Bhim III, he also dedicated his kingdom to Jagannath, and he declared himself that he is the representative of Lord Jagannath. Then after that, when the Mughals came, Marathas, then the East India Company, the Britishers, whoever conquered Odisha, they all tried to establish their dominance, their control over the temple, because all these rulers believed that by controlling the temple, the local people or the community who believed in Lord Jagannath, they will also accept their rule. Then a special Rath Yatra is organized, a big procession is organized every year in Puri, in which Jagannath Ji, the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, sits in the chariot and travels in the city of Puri. And many people from all over the world, they come to participate in this festival. Holi. Holi is celebrated in India, but it has special significance in North India. The festival lasts for 2 days. The first day is Holi and the second day is Dhuleti. This day is celebrated as a victory of good over evil power. On this day, Holi is celebrated in the evening and Holi is lit. Dhuleti is celebrated by sprinkling colors on one another. Students, the festival of Holi is celebrated as the victory of good over evil power. And this festival comprises of 2 days. It is celebrated for 2 days. The first day is Holi. On the night of Holi, the Holi is lit in the evening and it is worshipped by the people. And then the second day is called Dhuleti. On Dhuleti, people sprinkle color on one another and celebrate Dhuleti. The next festival is Latmar, Holi Barsana. Holi celebrated in Barsana, that is Uttar Pradesh, is known as Latmar Holi. Barsana is the birthplace of Radhaji. Here the men of Nandagam, that is Lord Krishna's land, come to play Holi with the women of Barsana and try to hoist flag at Radhaji's temple. Men are greeted with lat, that is sticks, thick sticks by women. Hence this Holi is known as the Latmar Holi. Students, Latmar Holi is celebrated especially in Barsana, that is Uttar Pradesh, and in this festival men are greeted with the thick sticks. Women greet men with the thick sticks, and the men of the Nandagam, that is the Lord Krishna's birthland Nandagam, they come to Barsana, which is the birthplace of Radhaji, and they try to hoist flag at Radhaji's temple, and this festival is known as Latmar Holi Barsana. The next festival is Lohri, Punjab. This festival is similar to Holi. This festival is celebrated by Sikh community on 13th January before Makar Sankranti. They light a fire at night, worship and circumambulate, offering sweets in it. The festival is also believed to symbolize the victory of light over darkness. This festival is joyfully celebrated by the Sikh community living in the surrounding areas of Punjab, Haryana and Delhi. Students, Lohri festival is almost similar to Holi festival. They light fire at night, worship the fire, offer sweets in the fire, and this fire symbolizes the victory of light over darkness. This festival is celebrated on 13th January, that is exactly one day before Makar Sankranti. And the people of Punjab, Haryana, and Delhi, belonging to Sikh community, they celebrate this festival joyfully. Pongal. Pongal is the main festival of Tamil Nadu. Apart from Tamil Nadu, the festival is also celebrated in Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. Pongal is celebrated on the first day of Tamil month Thai, that is mid January. On this day, a sweet dish called Pongal is prepared. Students, Pongal festival is celebrated in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. And it is celebrated on the first day, that is mid January, and the first day of Tamil month, which is known as Thai. And on this day, a sweet dish, which is known as Pongal, is prepared. In Tamil, Pongal means to boil. Pongal is made by boiling rice, moong dal, milk, and sugar in a pot, and this dish is considered auspicious, that is holy. Onam. Onam is an important festival celebrated in Kerala. Onam is a festival celebrated for 10 days in the first month of the Malayalam calendar, that is August September. Flower decorations, a variety of dishes, dancing, singing, and boat races are speciality of this festival. Boating is also known as Valam Kali. A meal called Sadhya is prepared for this festival. Students, Onam is celebrated for 10 days in Kerala, and it is celebrated during August and September month. They decorate the houses or places around them with flowers. They cook variety of dishes, dance, they sing, they organize boat races. Boat races are called Valam Kali, and they also prepare a meal called Sadhya. Diwali. Diwali is a festival celebrated with pomp and show in India. Festivals like Vagh Baras, Dhanteras, Kali Chaudas, New Year, Bhai Beej, and Lap Pacham are also associated with this festival. This festival is also known as Festival of Lights. Students, we are very well versed with the festival of Diwali, which is also known as Festival of Lights. And this festival is celebrated for 5 days, which starts on Vagh Baras. The first day is called Vagh Baras, the second day is called Dhanteras, then Kali Chaudas, then New Year, then Bhai Beej, and Lap Pacham. People start their business on Lap Pacham, and they say that starting the business on the Lap Pacham gives them more profit and gives success to them in their businesses. Durga Puja. Durga Puja has a special significance in West Bengal. Durga Devi's victory over Mahishasur is celebrated with the Durga Puja festival. This festival is celebrated for 10 days. It ends with a special ritual and immersion of idol of Mataji in the water. This festival is celebrated in a small or large scale in almost all the states. Students, as we all know that Durga Devi, the goddess, has defeated Mahishasur, and the Durga Puja festival is significance of that victory over Mahishasur. This festival is celebrated for 10 days, 10 long days, and it ends with a special ritual. And that ritual is that on the 10th day, the idol of Mataji is immersed in water. तो जो मूर्ति होती है दुर्गा माता की, उसको पानी में विसर्जित कर देते हैं. And this festival is celebrated in almost all the states, whether on small scale or large scale. It is celebrated in almost all the states of India. Christmas. The birthday of Jesus Christ is celebrated on 25th December by Christians as Christmas. During this festival, homes and streets are decorated with Christmas tree and other decorations. On this day, they go to church, light candles, pray, and give gifts to one another. They celebrate the first day of January as the New Year. Students, on 25th December, the Christian community celebrates Christmas, that is the birth of Jesus Christ. And during this festival, the Christians, they decorate their homes, the streets, they decorate it with lights and like balloons. They use lot of decoration items in decorating the tree, also Christmas tree also. And they go to church on this day. They light the candles in the church, they pray in the church, and they also give gifts to one another on this day. and after 25th December, on 1st January, they celebrate as their new year. Muharram. Muslims celebrate Muharram as a day of mourning in memory of the martyrdom of grandson of Hazrat Muhammad Paigambar Sahib. On this day, Tazia procession is taken out. Muslims mourn in black dress. Students, Muharram is a significance as a day of mourning because it is the significance of the martyrdom of grandson of Hazrat Muhammad Paigambar Sahib, and Tazia, a long procession is taken out, and Muslims mourn in the black dress in this procession. Eid. There are two Eids celebrated in Islam. First is Eid al-Fitr and second is Eid al-Adha. Eid al-Fitr is also known as Ramzan Eid. After the completion of fast of the holy month of Ramzan on the day of Ramzan Eid, Muslims pray together in group, and after the prayer they greet one another Eid Mubarak. Eid al-Adha means Eid of sacrifice. This Eid is associated with the holy Haji, holy journey to Kaaba in Makkah. Students, Eid al-Fitr is celebrated in Islam. The religious holiday is celebrated by Muslims worldwide because it marks the end of the month, Ramzan month, during this month they fast from dawn to sunset. And the next festival is Eid al-Adha. Eid al-Adha is celebrated in Islam. It honors the willingness of Ibrahim to sacrifice his son Ismail as an act of obedience to God's command. Before Ibrahim could sacrifice his son, however, God provided a lamb to sacrifice instead. Pateti. Pateti is an important festival of the Parsis. The last 5 days of Parsi year are celebrated as a religious festival. The last of these 5 days is celebrated as the day of repentance. Parsis sincerely repent for their mistakes, crimes or sins. Students, Pateti is important festival of Parsis, okay? And especially the last 5 days are celebrated with grandeur because during these 5 days the people of the community, they sincerely regret that if they have made any mistake or any crime or any sin, they regret with the bottom of the heart during these days, and they seek forgiveness from God. On the day of Pateti, Parsis go to Agyari and pray for repentance as given in their prayer book called Avesta. They celebrate the second day of Pateti as Navroz, the first day of New Year. Students, on the day of Pateti, the people of Parsi community, they go to the Agyari. Agyari is their religious place, and they pray to God for repentance. They sincerely regret for their sin or crime done by them. And this prayer is already given in their religious book called Avesta. And the second day of Pateti is celebrated as the Navroz day. And for Parsis, Navroz is the first day of their new year. Cheti Chand. Cheti Chand is the festival of Sindhi people. The day of Chaitra Sud Beach is celebrated by the Sindhis as the first day of the year. They wish one another a happy new year. On this day, they take out procession of deity Jhulelal and the devotees distribute tahiri, that is sweet rice, as prasad. Students, the next festival is Cheti Chand, and this festival is celebrated by Sindhi community. And the day of Chaitra Sud Beej is celebrated as Cheti Chand, that is the first day of the year, and they wish one another as Happy New Year. They carry out a procession with the deity, their deity is Jhulelal, and they distribute sweet rice, which is known as tahiri, as prasad. Festivals of Gujarat. Navratri. The days from Aso Sud Ekam to Aso Sud Nom are celebrated as Navratri. Navratri is the festival of adoration of Ma Shakti. During these 9 days, people worship Ma Durga. Garba and Dandiya Ras is played in Navratri. Garba is the identity of Gujarat. Students, Navratri is a 9 days festival in which Gujaratis worship Ma Durga. And the day from Aso Sud Ekam, that is first day of last Aso month, from that day till 9th day, Aso Sud Nom, till this 9 days Navratri is celebrated. So it is called Navratri, that means 9 nights, okay. and Garba and Dandiya Ras is played during this festival. And as you all know that Garba is the identity of Gujarat. Uttarayan. It is the transition of sun from Dhan Rashi to Makar Rashi. This festival is also known as Makar Sankranti. Students, this festival is also very well versed in India. During the Uttarayan, people fly kites. It is also known as Makar Sankranti, and it is a transition of the sun from Dhan Rashi to Makar Rashi. The next festival is Rath Yatra. Like Rath Yatra of Jagannath Puri, Jagannath Ji's Rath Yatra takes place in different parts of India on the day of Ashad Sud Bij. The Rath Yatra of Ahmedabad is specially attractive. Thousands of people, including elephants, horses, akhadas, monks, and saints, participate in Rath Yatra. Rath Yatra starts after performing Pahinda Vidhi in the Rath Yatra. Lord Jagannath, elder brother Balram, that is Balbhadra, and sister Subhadra ride in the chariot and go around in the town. To know, the credit of starting Rath Yatra in Gujarat goes to Sant Shri Nrsimha Das Ji, 1878 AD. The front of the chariot is cleaned with broom made of gold, which is called Pahinda Vidhi. Students, Rath Yatra in Ahmedabad is almost like the Rath Yatra which is carried out in Jagannath Puri temple, and that is a ritual called Pahinda Vidhi, in which the front of the chariot is cleaned with broom. The chariot of Jagannath Ji, the front of the chariot is cleaned with the broom, and it is made of gold. And after this Vidhi, it is said that Lord Jagannath Ji's elder brother, whose name is Balram, and his sister Subhadra, they ride in the chariot and go around the town. And thousands of people come to participate in this Rath Yatra, including elephants, horses, akhadas, monks, and saints also participate in this festival. Fairs. Fairs held in various districts of Gujarat have become the identity of that district. Students, as we all know, many fairs are held all over the India, and every fair is having their significance. In this paragraph, we have the name of the fair and the place where the fairs are held. So I'll just read out the names of the fair and the places where they are held. Tarnetar Fair, it is held in Surendranagar. Vautha Festival, that is in Ahmedabad. Bhavnath Fair in Junagadh. Shamlaji Gadadhar Festival, Shamlaji Aravali. Pali Fair, Rupal Gandhinagar. Bhadarvi Poonam Fair, Ambaji Banaskantha. Sarkhej Fair, Ahmedabad. Gol Gadhedo Fair, Garbada Dahod. Chitra Vichitra Fair, Sabarkantha. Madhavpur Fair, Madhavpur, Porbandar. Miradatar's Urs Mubarak, Unva, Mehsana. They are the famous fairs. India's main classical dances. Classical dances are a distinctive part of Indian culture. These classical dances have been associated with religion. We will learn about the major classical dances of India. Kathak. The word Kathak is derived from Katha. The storytellers embellish the story with their facial expressions and music. The saying Kathan kare so Kathak kahave is very well known. Especially in the 15th and 16th centuries, Kathak flourished in North India due to spread of Bhakti movement. The subjects of Kathak included the stories of Radha and Lord Krishna called Ras Leela. Students, now we will study about the major classical dances of India. Each culture, each part of India is having their own culture and own kind of classical dance. Like the first one is Kathak. The name Kathak is derived from the word Katha. Katha means storytelling, okay? So the storytellers, they embellish the story with their facial expressions and music. And it is said that Kathan kare so Kathak kahave means the dance form that tells a story is called Kathak. Kathak is a dance form which tells a story through facial expressions and music. And even in 15th and 16th century, during the Bhakti movement, Kathak was flourished in North India. and the people who are practicing Kathak, they used to imitate the stories. They used to include the stories of Radha and Lord Krishna, which was known as Ras Leela. In the time of Mughal emperors, Kathak dance was performed in courts where it developed into a distinctive dance form. After 15th and 16th centuries, Kathak got divided into branches. These branches are called gharanas. These two branches include Jaipur and Lucknow. That is Jaipur Gharana and Lucknow Gharana. Okay. In the 19th century, Nawab Wajid Ali Shah of Awadh revived the art by giving shelter to Kathak in his court. Kathak spread in Punjab, Haryana, Jammu Kashmir, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh. After independence, Kathak got a place in 6 classical dances. Today, Kathak has become an integral part of Indian culture. Students, Kathak dance was performed in the Mughal court also, and it developed into distinctive dance form that at that time. Later on, Kathak got divided into two branches. First was known as Jaipur Gharana and the next was Lucknow Gharana. Then in 19th century, the Nawab of Awadh, Wajid Ali Shah, he gave the shelter to the this classical dance form Kathak in his court, and slowly Kathak spread in Punjab, Haryana, Jammu Kashmir, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh. And even after independence, in the list of the cultural dances, Kathak has got the place in the first 6 classical dances. And even today, Kathak has become an integral part of our culture. The next dance form is Kathakali. Kathakali is a dance form tradition of Kerala. Literally, it means theatrical story. Acting is the soul of this dance. In addition to acting, costumes and colors are also very important. Costumes of the characters are according to their characteristics, that is, ethical, majestic, and vindictive. Characters don't speak but express themselves with the help of facial expressions. Know this. It is known that this form of drama originated from the Sanskrit drama tradition called Kutiyattam of the 9th and 10th century. Students, you can see in the picture a Kathakali dancer is performing. See the posture, the costumes of the performer. Okay, and this Kathakali dance is a tradition of Kerala, and meaning of Kathakali is theoretical story. That means it is a kind of a dance form which is showing either ethical or majestic or vindictive characters. That means ethical means relating to moral principles. Majestic means having or showing or impressing with beauty or scale. Okay. And vindictive means showing a strong or unreasoning desire for revenge. So these performers, they perform with their soul from the bottom of their heart. They perform and they don't speak during the performance. They only express themselves with the help of facial expression. Only their facial expression shows us what kind of performance they are giving. And the costumes of the characters, the colors are very important in this dance form. And it is said that this drama form was originated from Sanskrit drama tradition, which was called Kutiyattam during the 9th and 10th century. Manipuri. Manipuri dance is the identity of Eastern Indian state, Manipur. The people of Manipur perform this dance on every festival and occasion. This dance form is considered to be different from other dance forms in India because of slow body movement. Manipur dance is of two types, Lasya and Tandav. Students, picture of this dance form is given on page number 46, and Manipuri dance is the identity of one of our state of India, which is located in eastern part. The name of the state is Manipur, and this dance form is performed on every festival and occasion in Manipur. And it is different because of the slow body movement, and Manipuri dance is of two types, Lasya and Tandav. Lasya is the dance performed by goddess Parvati as it expresses happiness and filled with grace and beauty. And opposite to that is next Tandav. Tandav dance is a vigorous dance that the god Shiva performs in his role as a destroyer. Know this. King Bhagyachandra of the 18th century played an important role in the development of the Manipuri dance. He wrote a book, Govind Sangeet Leela Vilas, as good as a dance style textbook. Bharatnatyam. Natya Shastra, written by Bharat Muni, is a great book written on classical dances of India. Apart from this, Nandikeshwar, the author of the book called Abhinav Darpan, has also discussed Bharatnatyam in detail as an important classical dance of India. Bharatnatyam dance developed in Tanjore, that is Tamil Nadu. Students, Bharatnatyam was developed in Tamil Nadu, that is previously it was known as Tanjore. Then Bharat Muni has written a book which is based on classical dances of India. The name of the book is Natya Shastra. Natya Shastra means it gives detail about the various kind of dances, classical dances of India. Then Nandikeshwar was the author of the book called Abhinav Darpan. He has also discussed in detail about the dance Bharatnatyam, which is our classical dance of Tamil Nadu. The next dance is Kuchipudi. India's leading classical dance, Kuchipudi, originated from Kuchipudi village in Andhra Pradesh. The dance called Yakshagana is of this village took the form of Kuchipudi dance in the 17th century. The founder of this was Vaishnav poet Siddhendra Yogi. This dance is associated with drama also. Students, there is a village in Andhra Pradesh. The name of the village is Kuchipudi, and it is believed that Kuchipudi originated from Kuchipudi village. The dance, which was called Yakshagana of the village, took the form of Kuchipudi in the 17th century. And there was a poet, Siddhendra Yogi. He is believed to be the founder of this, and this dance is also associated with drama also. Bihu. Bihu is a famous dance of Assam. This dance is performed by a group of men or women dressed in traditional costume to express happiness. Hand and foot movements, speed and group formation play an important role in this dance. Dole, pipa, that is an instrument made from buffalo horns, and instruments like flute are used in this dance. Students, Bihu is the famous dance form of Assam state, and it is specially performed in groups. Either the group is of only men or women or both men and women, and they perform this dance to express their happiness. And there is a particular costume. When they perform this dance, they wear that particular costume, and in this dance specially hand and foot movements require. Even the speed and the different kind of foot group formation is performed in this kind of dance. And the instruments which are used during this dance are dhol. The second instrument is pipa. Pipa is an instrument which is made from buffalo horns, and flute is used in performing this dance. Know this, in the medieval era, following dances are included: Bharatnatyam, that is from Tamil Nadu; Kathakali, Kerala; Odissi, Odisha; Kuchipudi, Andhra Pradesh; Manipuri, Manipur; Kathak, North India. Painting, the tradition of miniatures. The tradition of painting is centuries old in India, a special part of which is the tradition of miniatures. Miniatures are small pictures. Miniatures were made with watercolor on cloth and paper. The oldest miniatures have been found drawn on palm leaves and wood. Many such miniatures are found in Jain texts of Rajasthan and Gujarat. It developed a lot during the Mughal period because the Mughal emperors Akbar, Jahangir and Shah Jahan encouraged skilled painters and established art galleries. Students, the tradition of painting has developed from many centuries in India, and even the tradition of making miniatures. Miniatures are a kind of small pictures which are drawn on paper or a piece of cloth with the help of the watercolors. And the smallest and oldest miniatures have been drawn on palm leaves and wood also. Especially the miniatures which are found in Jain text in Rajasthan and Gujarat, they are very fine, okay. And miniatures developed a lot during Mughal period because the Mughal emperors, the Mughal Emperor Akbar, Emperor Jahangir and Emperor Shah Jahan, they were very fond of art, literature, and painting. So they encouraged the skilled painters, and even they established galleries for their exhibition and so. Okay. In the text like the Mahabharata, the Panchtantra, as well as Akbarnama, the painters have painted beautiful miniatures, scenes of palace, war, hunting, and social life remained the subjects of miniature paintings. Such paintings were given to one another as gifts, and only the king and those who were close to him were allowed to see them. Students, the texts like Mahabharata, the Panchtantra, Akbarnama. Akbarnama is the book based on the life of King Akbar. And in these books, the painters have painted small and beautiful miniatures. And these miniatures included the picture of palace or the picture of war happening or hunting done by the king or social life of the which remained in the subjects of miniature paintings, and these paintings were given to one another as gifts, and only the king and those who were close to the king, only they were allowed to see these miniatures. Miniature paintings found in manuscripts have been preserved in Shantinath Library, Bandra in Kambat, and Hemchandracharya Jain Gyan Bandar in Patan. These paintings reflect the sects and social life of Gujarat. Painting styles. Art form based on extension of gharana and patterns. After the decline of the Mughal Empire, regional kings gave shelter to paintings, among which Rajasthan and southern states were the main ones. These rulers got the scenes of their courts painted. The states like Mewar, Jodhpur, Bundi, Kota, and Kishangarh got the paintings of Indian mythological stories, epics, and images of gods and goddesses painted. Students, when the Mughal Empire declined, at that time the kings who declared themselves independent, that is, the regional kings, they started giving shelter to the paintings, among which the Rajasthan and southern states were the main states. The states of Rajasthan, like Mewar, Jodhpur, Bundi, Kota, and Kishangarh, they got the paintings of Indian mythological stories and epics and images of their gods and goddesses painted. They also made the painters paint the scenes of their courts also. After 17th century, miniature art also developed in Himachal Pradesh, which is called Basaholi style. Such special pictures are found in Bhanudatta's book Ras Manjari. Due to the invasion of Nadir Shah and the conquest of Delhi, Mughal artists migrated to hilly areas. As a result, the Kangra style of painting developed. This painting is also called Pahari painting. By the middle of the 18th century, artists developed a new style inspired by the traditions of the Vaishnava sect. Using soft colors along with blue and green and poetic description of subjects was the speciality of Kangra style painting. Students, when miniature painting developed after 17th century, and it developed in the state of Himachal Pradesh, which was called as Basoli style, and there was a book Ras Manjari which was written by Bhanudatta. Many pictures were found, and after that Nadir Shah invaded and the conquest of Delhi happened. Mughal artists they went to hilly areas, they migrated towards the hilly regions, and there was a style developed called Kangra style, and the other name of this painting was called Pahadi painting. Pahadi means a kind of a painting done by inspiring mountains or so, and soft colors were used in this like blue, green, and they used to describe the subjects in poetic form, and this was a speciality of the Kangra style painting. The heroic saga of the Rajputs. The British rulers acknowledged today's Rajasthan as Rajputana. The Rajputs created a distinctive culture in Rajasthan. The cultural traditions of the Rajputs were associated to their ideals and heroism. The heroic tales of the Rajputs were narrated by Charans and Barots through poetry and songs. In these stories, in addition to the heroism of the Rajputs, loyalty, friendship, love, wrath, etc. were depicted. Rajputs sacrificed their lives for women, cows, and religion. Rajput women were equally heroic. They followed the footsteps of their valiant husband in both life and death. The mention of Sati Pratha is also seen. Students, in around 1800s, that is the present day Rajasthan was known as Rajputana by the Britishers, And as the name sounds, it may seem that the religion was inhabited by Rajputs. And but this was not true at that time. There were indeed some Rajputs living there, and there still are. But most of the Rajputana was also inhabited by other people who were not Rajputs. The Rajputs who lived there were known to be brave, valiant, and valorous. They were very courageous. These rulers believed in tradition of being heroes who would fight valiantly and often choose death on the battlefield rather than being defeated. The stories of the heroic acts of these Rajputs are recorded in poems and songs. They were also recited by minstrels who were specially trained for it. And even the women in this community, they have also earned their heroic image by committing sati or self immolation rather than surrendering to the rivals. Peer. According to Sufism, religion means love for God and service to humanity. From time to time, the Sufis were divided into different orders. There were peers, that is, guides for each order. The disciples of Peer were known as Khwaja or Sheikh. The disciples of Peer were known as Murids. Leading Sufi saints associated with the Indian Peer tradition include the famous Sufi saint Moinuddin Chishti of Ajmer. He started the Chishti sect in India. He became famous as Khwaja and Aulia. In Gujarat, Ahmad Khattu Ganjbaksh was a great Peer. Peer is a title for a Sufi spiritual guide, which is literally the Arabic equivalent, and the title is often translated into English as saint. Peer's role is to guide and instruct his disciples on Sufi path, and this is often done by general lessons and individual guidance. Other words that refer to Peer include Murshid. The disciples of Peer is known as Khwaja or Sheikh or Murids. A Peer usually has authorizations to be a teacher for one tarika or more than one tarika. And according to them, religion, the definition of religion is like love for God or service to humanity. And everybody knows that the leading Sufi saints are associated with the Indian Peer. This includes the famous Sufi saint Moinuddin Chishti of Ajmer, and he started the Chishti sect in India. He became famous Khwaja and Aulia, and even in Gujarat, Ahmad Khattu Ganjbaksh was a great Peer. Palia, a monument of pillar erected in memory of the heroic martyrs who stood firm against the enemies and died in battle, is called Palia. Palia was also made for the women who performed Johar or Sati. Such a Palia is called Sati's Palia. Students, the Palia is a type of memorial found in western India, especially Saurashtra and Kutch regions of Gujarat state of India. It is even found in Sindh region of Pakistan also. The word Palia is derived from the Sanskrit word that is Pal, that means to protect. And in Gujarati, Pala means a group of soldiers or army. It is mostly used to refer memorial stone dedicated to people who end their lives or commit self-immolation. Temples. Temple architecture dates back to the Gupta age. The Gupta period is also called the period of structural temples. There are three main types of temple architecture. This includes Nagar, Dravid, and Vesara style. Students, temple architecture was developed more during Gupta age, and that period was called the period of structural temples. And there are three types of architecture, temple architecture. First is Nagar style, second is Dravidian style, and third is Vesara style. We will study about all these three in detail now. Nagar style. The temple architectural style that developed from the northern part of India, Himalayas, to the Vindhya after 5th century is known as Nagar style. These temples are usually built in the Panchayatan style with oval pinnacle. Temples of this style include Jagannath Temple, Puri, Konark, Odisha, and Sun Temple, Modhera, Gujarat, as well as Madhav Temple of Khajuraho, Madhya Pradesh. Students, most of the architectural remains that survive from ancient and medieval India are religious in nature. In different parts of the country, distinct architectural style of temples was a result of geographical, ethnic, and historical diversities. The true Two broad orders of temples in the country are known as Nagar style in the north and Dravidian in the south. And at times, the Vesara style of temples is also found as an independent style created through the selective mixing of the Nagar style and Dravida order. Nagar style was also known as North Indian temple style, and it is common for an entire temple to built on a stone platform with steps leading up to it. Further, unlike the South India, it does not usually have elaborate boundary walls or gateways. The earliest temples had just one tor or one shikhara, later temples had several. The Garbhagriha is always located directly under the tallest tower, and there are many subdivisions of Nagar temples depending on the shape of the shikhara. There are different names of various parts of the temple in different parts of India. The most common name of the simple shikhara, which is square at the base and whose walls curve or slope inward to a point on top, is called Latina. Okay. The second major type of architectural form in the Nagar style is the Famasa, which tends to be broader and shorter than the few later ones. Dravid style. The style of architecture which developed in South India is known as Dravidian style. These include regions like Tamil Nadu, southern Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, and southern Karnataka. These temples are found from Krishna Basin to Kanyakumari. These temples include Brideshwar, that is Raj Rajeshwar Temple in Tanjore, Meenakshi Temple in Madurai, Chariot Temple of Mahabalipuram, Tamil Nadu. Students, unlike the Nagara temple, the Dravidian temple is enclosed with a compound wall. The front wall has an entrance gateway in its center and it is known as Gopuram. The shape of the main temple tower is known as Vemana in Tamil Nadu, and it is like a stepped pyramid that raises up geometrically rather than curving shikhara of North India. It is common to find a large water reservoir or a temple tank enclosed within the complex. And the famous temples of the towns of Tamil Nadu, Kachipuram, Tanjavur, Madurai, these are the famous ones during 8th to 12th century. The role of the temple was not limited to religious matters alone. Temples became rich administrative centers controlling the vast areas of land. Vesara style. Vesara style of temple architecture developed from Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka and Vindhya mountain range to Krishna river. The Vesara style is a mixture of Nagar and Dravid style. This style is also known as Karnataka style. Temples of this style include Hoysaleshwar Temple, Halebidu, Karnataka and Chennakeshav Temple, Belur, Karnataka. Students, Vesara is one of the stylist tradition of Indian Hindu temple architecture, and it was primarily used in the Deccan, that is the central part of India, some parts of North India, between Vindhyas and the river Krishna. And Vesara is a combination of the features of the Dravidian and the Nagara styles and its own original characteristics. Kedareshwara temple and Chennakeshwar temple are examples of this style. So this is the end of our geography chapter number 8, formation of regional culture. Students, if you like my videos, don't forget to subscribe the channel Asma Babwani. Click on the bell icon to get the latest updates. Like the videos, share the videos and do comment on all the videos.